is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler. That's loud.
Yeah, that's what they said. I don't know. Should start over. Like,
We should,
you could say that's what she said, but
we're not going to.
does it really apply? No. It's hacky.
Hacky?
Sacky.
Hacky sacky. You might as well be two hippies out back of the Menards.
You say big money there.
You ain't lying, brother.
No, you want to talk about soul-sucking experience working for Menards.
Wow. Yep.
No, I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
One of my brother's very first jobs, and he fucking hated every minute.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful job.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do it. If there's an application of it anywhere but Menards, awful experience. So I didn't say big money,
This episode,
but I lost my sanity.
This episode of Off Panel Off Topic is definitely not brought to you by Menards.
Sue me. No, please don't. I don't have any money.
Yeah, that's why they won't.
Yeah, there's like,
We're fine saying whatever the
nobody
fuck
listens.
we want
Nobody
until
listens.
we get popular
A,
enough.
Nobody listens to the show. B,
No.
I don't have any money, and they know that. C, it's Menards.
No, everybody'd rather watch fucking Pat McAfee. What a fucking joke. Hey, I don't even know what regular T-shirts are. I just wear this thing. It's not even really a tank top. It's just a thing.
I would respect it more if he was like The Rock and he just wore
I
it.
fucking
If it was
hate
just
Pat.
like
Pat
vests,
McAfee
just
is
vests.
a fucking joke.
Could
dude.
you imagine that? Pat McAfee instead of tank tops, it's just
Vests.
vests like The Rock. No, I would respect that. I'd respect it.
All right, so I'm Tyler.
I'm Jake.
You're listening to Off Panel Off Topic. Hopefully still.
193, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
When is 200? Is 200 supposed to be the
Around, it's
Fantastic Four-ish?
No.
No.
It's gonna be like April. Well,
That's
when
7
does
episodes
Andor
from now.
come out?
7
22nd?
episodes. 7 weeks. And it's second week
It's
in March.
gonna be in April. It's gonna be like late
Can't be.
April.
There's 2 weeks left in March and 4 weeks. It has to be the first week of May.
Yeah, but there's 6 episodes.
7.
This is happening, right? So there's only 6 episodes from now to 2. Why are we doing this on the air? I hate when you do that.
Oh,
'Cause
welcome to the show.
You know why?
We're a
You know
bunch
why?
of fuck-ups. What?
Because you know me, so you know my OCD, and I'm gonna freak out about
So,
that.
yeah, episode 193.
Oh, is it?
We
Is
got we
Time
got
is an illusion.
Daredevil boarding it episode 3 to talk about. We got a couple of Absolute books to talk about, and we also have one of
Is this your show
my
now?
favorite. Well, you decided to just fucking drop the ball there, so I'm just picking it up and running the goal line. Hopefully you block.
All right, Pat.
So,
You gotta stand up if you're gonna do Pat.
and
McAfee.
no, I'm not doing Pat.
Wow.
Fuck that.
Whatever happened to committing to the bit?
I don't. I wasn't. I was just saying. And then we got my favorite segment, which is Jake's, like,
Fucking
literally
worst segment.
wakes up in the middle of the night screaming drenched in sweat. Ah, ah, ah! And it's my favorite, and it's called "What's in My Mouth."
No, it is. Don't even. Why? You know, I don't even have it up. You know, it's not.
No, we're not going into it now. I'm
Oh,
telling you
are
what's
we
going
not?
on the show. No. Well, we are now. You fuck. Piece of shit. So far, it's the worst episode ever. Hey, I'll just turn it down over here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buckle. Sorry, I was too soon. Let's turn it down.
No.
Closer to the board. Thank you.
No, say it. I wanted to fucking jack that shit.
Oh, wow. This is a family show. Anyway, what's in our mouth today?
Let's go ahead and pause the episode so you can take whatever youngsters might be around out of the room. Or put in
this
your
is
fucking
episode
headphones.
193. Every episode says E. It has an explicit next to it.
Okay, good.
You should know.
I'm saying, yeah, you should not, not us, but you should know. Okay.
You don't listen to this show.
You listening to, you should probably turn it off. No.
No, the opposite of what we want.
Honestly.
Just open the
you know,
bag.
I'm thinking that if we tell people to turn it off, more people will listen. So this week.
Oh, you turned it down. You
Oh,
son of
go.
a bitch.
Do it. Do it again. Do
No,
it
the
again.
bit's man.
Now this is the plan. Get your ass to Mars.
That's too long.
Sour cream and
We're doing
Funyuns is what
sour
we're
cream and
eating.
Funyuns. You remember how I used to complain about the
Oh no! All you do, the moment we record on podcast night, this guy, he just walks in and says, "Listen, you son of a bitch, we're doing what's in my mouth." He said, "I got sour cream and Funyuns.
What?
I got Pringles Mingles,
What?
barbecue and pizza."
What?
So what's the first bag?
So, shit, fucking dick. You remember how we had the bit about Terry over at Frito-Lay?
Terry, I have a
Terry,
genius
you can't-
idea.
You can't have that much chip integrity, Terry.
So what's Terry?
So no, I was complaining about how they have
Yeah.
like Doritos flavored Lays. Like I don't give a shit. Like give me some like Doritos flavored Funyuns and shit like that, right? Or Funyuns flavored Lays, right? Or whatever.
What a sentence. Yeah, I know what you mean though.
So
Mashups,
This is a
crossovers.
newer one out that right now, and they have two other ones. They have the steak queso, something that we've tried, and then there's steakhouse onion, which I've tried, and it's not that great. But sour cream and Funyuns is what it's literally called. The onions is crossed out and is written in Funyuns. So it smells good. I've never been a big sour cream and onion chip
you're
guy.
fucking wrong.
I'll eat them though, but I just
Sour cream and
if
onion
I'm going to buy
Pringles?
my own chips, I usually don't go for that.
I've never done crack cocaine, but I feel like the closest you can get is sour cream and onion Pringles.
It's nothing. It's a fucking Funyun. Does it taste any different to you other than a fucking Funyun?
I mean, there's a hint of sour cream aftertaste, but I mean, it's not terrible. It's just a
Nice.
for me.
Yeah.
You same, or are you gonna
Yeah, you do it. I don't know where it
Nice.
is.
across the board?
Well, look,
It's not that different.
there's 4 different kinds of Funyuns out in the market right now. There's steakhouse onion, there's these, there's the queso whatever ones that we've done, and then there's regular.
Yeah.
And we've done 3 of them now, or 2 of the different flavors, and they don't taste much different than Funyuns. Who the fuck do you think you are, Frito-Lay?
Terry, it wasn't a good idea, Terry.
I still want to eat another
Who
one.
the fuck do you think you are, Frito? That's gotta be a drop. Babe, get in here. A new flavor just dropped.
Who the fuck do you think you are, Frito-Lay?
Why was it?
You sit in your fucking tower made of Fritos?
You fat and
Swimming in pools full of Frito-Lay bean dip
goddamn potato chips,
and
swindlers,
French onion dip.
panhandling bastards.
No, the French onion goes in the
Just also
jacuzzi.
just insults out of just.
So we're not. Yeah, you know what? If you want a Funyun, get a fucking Funyun. Cause this. No, I'm serious. If you see,
There's so many drops from this. If you want a Funyun, get a fucking
Funyun. Look, you're gonna if you're like me, you're gonna see these in the store and go, ooh, don't be fucking fooled, man. If you want a fucking Funyun, get a fucking Funyun, dog. Next up is, are you gonna explain it like I have to do every
No,
time?
go eat shit.
Give them here if
No,
you're not
I'm
gonna do it.
nah.
Explain it.
These are Pringles Mingles.
Yeah, we've had these before. We had the white cheddar
They look
and
like bow
something.
ties, but they're like little
Yeah, we've had. They're little
Pringles bow ties.
airy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like little airy, like pops, almost.
Now
like
before
puffs.
this flavor is barbecue and pizza. Before we eat these, or go ahead, but at there's a place in town called Fong's Pizza, and they have this pizza called the Iowan, and it is cheese and barbecue pulled pork and corn and bacon and blue cheese. Like it's everything that Iowa's known for, like food wise, and it is amazing. So I've kind of had barbecue pizza, kind of.
Dude, I always eat barbecue pizza. It's like one of my favorite kind of pizzas.
You're fucked up in the
Barbecue
head, dude. You're
chicken.
fucked
Barbecue
up.
chicken.
No, it's
Come on.
weird. Chicken on pizza? No.
You need to live a little. You explore. I can already tell what Tyler thinks.
Oh, fuck you.
The look on your face when you ate it was like, oh, how dare you? Yep. You know what?
It's like, okay.
Who the fuck do you think you
You
are,
are
Pringles?
Pringles.
Terry, we pissed him off, Terry. Why did you be like, well, we got this weird flavor thing. Well, we're supposed to be a barbecue flavor, but it kind of tastes like a pizza.
It doesn't really taste like either. It just kind of tastes like feet. Yeah, I know what they taste like. Shut up.
Well, okay, I kind of like them, but
Nice.
let's
Have
talk
you
about-
ever
No. I want to talk about you eating feet. What's up with that?
No. Have you ever, like, when you were younger, you're like, oh, that tastes like ass. They're like, oh, yeah, how do you know? You know your friends.
Yeah.
You don't know how ass, but you're explaining, like, this tastes bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what feet taste like, but I
Do you?
when I first started smoking cigarettes, a friend of mine, I smoked Marlboro Reds, and my buddy was like, "Why do you smoke those? They smell like feet. When it tastes like feet." And I was just like, "Okay, what do you suggest?" He's like, "Smoke Camels." I'm like, eh.
Was he a camel?
36
Was
years.
Joe Cool?
36 years later. How the fuck am I alive? It ain't from clean living, Jesus, so don't turn me away. I just want to come up to your
All right.
church, maybe say hey,
Wow.
Jesus.
What's up? I think it's not that bad, but you're eating feet, man. It freaks me out.
Really? Because
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing
make a-
but garbage, guy, you know?
people make a shitload of money like stepping on cakes with their feet.
And farting on them. Cake farts are big, man.
Why the fuck aren't we doing that? Anyway.
What, cake farts?
Cake farts. Do 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 do. That's the power of farts. Do 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 do. Power of farts.
What?
Is a curious
Time out.
thing.
Stop. Wait, why?
Fall on a cake.
Stop.
Make a
For the love
money.
of God, I will kill your mic. I have to yell at you like a child. Get back over here.
So, yeah, I'd be on a leash.
Crack cocaine.
So
I meant to hit the other one. I meant to hit the get your ass.
I don't know why I went from farting on cakes to a takeoff of a Huey Lewis classic. Make a one man weep, make another man
man
sing. Shit. Change your pants to a little white dove. Not really.
I never left that part of the show.
Yes, you have. So, no, but you got these two flavors, right? You got these two flavors, barbecue and pizza.
How the fuck am I going to talk about this anymore?
Barbecue and pizza, no, but they cancel each other out, so it's almost like it tastes like nothing. And also,
That's not the power
when
of
it,
love.
well, it's not the power of love. We'll keep you home at night. Light, airy, and crispy. Both fucking shit, Pringles. Oh, light, airy, and crispy. Fucking bullshit, man.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Anyway. Fuck, my face hurts.
Wow.
Ugh. Daredevil. That'll cheer us up.
You know what really sucks about laughing this hard when you got headphones on is your ears are just going nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
When
don't.
you wear the over the head ones. But anyway, let's talk about
Daredevil.
a show that we were watching. Daredevil, Born Again, episode 3. Season 1, episode 3.
So,
Interesting episode.
Can we-
This is,
yeah.
yeah, this is kind
Courtroom
of,
drama.
yeah, this is leaning back into kind of what they've done throughout the show, which is like also showing Matt as a lawyer. And honestly,
Season 1 did it a lot more than any other.
Season 1 does it. Season 2 does it with Punisher's trial a little bit, and then but Season 3 he's not really back in the courtroom. So this So this is him full blower being a lawyer without being Daredevil again. And you know, obviously the theme of this season is both Kingpin and Daredevil are not going to get over their violent natures, and they're going to just have to fight each other. Like they're just going to have to kill each other. And it's like Kingpin has to die at the end of this. I don't know if he'll die at the end of this season. But like how they have to kill each other at some point because you can't keep doing this, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, comic book lovers,
Narratively.
comic book lovers have got to understand, and this has taken me a little while to kind of get past because it sucks. But you can have a comic character not age for 50, 60 years.
And act like it's 5 years in continuity. That's what they do all the
You
time.
can't do that with movies and TV. And Charlie Cox is already pretty old. I mean, he's not old, but he's older. His age is up to a point where you're wondering, is he able to?
Yeah, I mean,
obviously, he's in great shape.
He's in his late 30s, I'm pretty sure.
No, he was in his late 30s when the first show
Yeah,
happened.
right. Cause
So he's like late 40s.
Because he was talking about when he would be like when he was coming up in England, he was coming up with like Andrew Garfield and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in that little bit older crowd. Yeah. He looks great for his age.
He
but
keeps himself in great shape. So I mean, you give me 2-3 seasons of this show and like a movie, which apparently Secret Wars, we're guessing.
yeah.
Well,
I think he'll play a big
at some point you have to recast these people, and it sucks, but because he's done better than anybody, and who else would you get? But these are questions we don't need to ask ourselves right now. What we need to ask ourselves right now is, why the fuck does Matt Murdock think it's okay to just fucking out another superhero because he's not superheroing? Well, it's the only way to save you. Fuck you, Matt. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how much of a dick Matt Murdock is, really?
You know what? You know what Matt felt like after the case?
Stick around.
Oh, no, not that.
Good fucking Lord. You were just...
Am I the Messiah? I don't know. I could be. I'm not ruling it out.
That's how he's acting at the end of this episode. But so yeah, this whole episode is pretty much Daredevil or Matt on trial with White Tiger, which again, I got to talk about that too. Where you were mentioning in the other episodes of like, he literally just said in a serious setting of like, he didn't have his cloak or amulet, and
And he says it again.
it comes
How
up.
can you say that he didn't have his amulet? I mean, the jury's fucking laughing at you at that point. Like, what?
Yeah, but in this world, at this point, after post Endgame and everything, it makes sense.
We talked about it, yeah. Nothing is really sacred anymore.
Nothing-
So, yeah.
Nobody in the MCU would be that thrown off by him saying that sentence because it's just commonplace.
I want to hang out with somebody from the MCU, like a real person from the MCU.
That'd be funny.
Because I'll bet you they're the most cynical motherfuckers.
Could you
dude.
imagine insurance in that fucking universe?
That's
Awful. Awful.
Yeah, the economy of the world would pretty much collapse.
So, yeah, this was interesting because it was definitely going to lean. There's a lot of what I did like about this episode was a lot of like little bait and switch twists, like the twist of the whole story of his what's his investigator's name? I can't remember.
Jerry.
Cherry. That whole thing where that bait and switch where you think the cops are getting him
Yeah.
because the guy's on the stand. And
then he ends up fucking
because the
going
scene
back on his
prior, Matt
testimony
had said
anyway.
like, "Hey, I have this star witness that says there was another person there, like that. It doesn't corroborate your story." And so he can feel his heartbeat change and shit like that. So he knows this guy's gonna, be guilty. So he's the one who tries to get Cherry because he knows that Cherry works with Matt, and he's gonna have the witness. And you think he gets him, but he doesn't. But then this is okay. This is the moment where I have my prediction, and I'll let you have the floor first. But there's the moment where they bring in the witness, but he doesn't. He just says, "I wasn't there."
Mm-hmm.
And lies.
Yeah.
And that moment, I thought, this is where Matt loses the trial.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what pushes him further to violence.
Mm.
And then
I
I thought he loses the trial and he beats the shit out of that cop.
I didn't. I didn't see that happening. What I thought would happen was because I don't know. You can kind of tell like the rhythm of shows. Even if you're watching it, and a lot of these shows, if you're really into it, like you're not aware of when it ends and it cuts, you have to wait till the next episode. You're never really ready for it. But I could kind of tell. I thought that it would go further than that at least. So I wasn't really thinking that, but I was really, really upset with Matt because then afterwards, like he's talking to the guy, he's talking to Hector in his cell, and he's just like, "Hey man, you got it." No, he's telling Hector, he's like, "You got to do this," and I just wanted to be like, "Dude, fuck you, man, fuck you, Matt." Oh well, it's because of me, and but Matt Murdock is kind of a selfish dickhead, dude, kind of.
Yeah,
and
that is a character trait, like that is with the comics.
Yep. But it made me mad. And then when fucking White Tiger gets blown away at the end of the fucking
holy shit, you want to talk about a gut punch?
Something was wrong when he was the way that they were shooting it and the way that
they were telegraphing it.
Right,
sure.
like something was wrong. But then when he came out to the street, and I swear he heard like 3 different screams, and he was trying to figure out which way to go first.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Kinda.
And then he just started going straight ahead, and that's when the guy walked up and boom. But it looked like he was confused. Like, what do I do first? And it was like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But he had his amulet and his fucking suit, so.
It might fucking outed him.
Matt
outed him. Well, and.
But he had the Punisher sigil. So now.
I like this. I like this a lot. Okay,
let's
so
get
we're
into
playing
this,
with this.
because we've seen tattoos on cops and criminals.
Of the
and
logo
criminals.
And criminals.
Right? And we've seen graffiti. So what is going on with the Punisher cult or whatever?
So clearly those Punisher guys are like, they're the ones that are backing Kingpin and working with Kingpin. Like, that's his hit squad.
And clearly.
And they were already like fucking.
Frank's not into it.
Back the blue Punisher types.
Sure.
And just like in the comic books, Frank fucking hates cops and hates that. And I'm sure, and I'm so happy that the show is gonna be like, fuck it, we'll deal with it, and we'll address this. Which it's only gonna come to a head with this little hit squad that has this Punisher, and he's gonna go to Frank and be like, help me, these are our people, because they keep wearing, I keep seeing, or I keep finding these logos. People keep seeing them. What's going on? And then so I'm not. Maybe it's because I think this is like 9 episodes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe not until episode 5 we see Frank, because I think Frank is going to be like. He's going to be like season 2 and be a big part of this.
We talked about this a little bit before the show even started.
Because they're telegraphing him a lot in this episode.
I said I think that moment where he does whatever and it looks like he's bringing the axe down on Matt. I feel like that's going to be the end of season 1. And then season 2 is going to be Frank-centric.
Really? You don't think they're going to do anything?
We talked about this
later.
before the show came on. I said, because there's a very, very famous part in the preview where he's like, Frank, it's Matt. And he does the thing anyway, right?
Yeah.
He's a moment of recognition. I feel like that's going to be the end of season 1. I don't think we're going to see Frank
be a
for
bigger
a while.
part of this.
The only reason I think I'm
only
wrong
because of the
is
hit
because
squad being
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, John Bernthal is in the credits. Is he not? Every episode, I skip through the credits. This fucking credits opening scene is nowhere near as cool as the Netflix.
Wow.
Sorry. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, nothing will beat the original.
No, but you know, and there's elements of both. You know, you start off. I feel like every episode of Daredevil throughout the entire run from season 1 Netflix on to now, you have to have good drama, some good, you know, kind of like, you know, not maybe a twist, but sort of a whoa moment, and then you have to have a fight. You have to have a set piece,
Or at least something big to set up the next, episode and so on and so forth.
And this one was mostly courtroom.
Yeah,
Did they have a fight scene in this one? I don't think there was.
I can't remember. I don't think there was either. But
The closest one was when they were chasing the cherry down, I think.
Yeah, and then that brief scene at the end when White Tiger gets shot.
Yeah.
This one definitely felt most like the Netflix show. I felt like of the 3 episodes we've had so far, I feel like the closest ties to season 1 and 2 in this episode. And I think we're gonna get a little bit more of that before we get him in the suit. I don't think they're gonna waste. I don't think they're gonna.
I think we're building up to the end of this season. Is when we're gonna see him. I really do. I think they're gonna tease us all the way to the end of this first season.
Yeah,
I really do, because they already have both seasons done. They just split them up into. Remember, it was supposed to be 18.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Fuck that!" So they basically split it up into 2 seasons. So I think it's 9 and 9, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like, I think I lost.
So we'll have
like
9
17 instead of 18 now.
Yeah, we'll have 9 now, through the end of May.
I don't know, man. Something like that.
April, May-ish, and then we'll probably get the other one a year later or later this year. I don't know.
No, there's only 6 left.
I'm saying there's a season 2, which is but that's already done.
I don't think they're gonna spend that much time though.
Huh?
I think they've already told that story so many times that they need to just get him in the suit. So I'm on the different side of it. I think we're gonna see Frank involved more, and I think this is gonna go back more to those roots, and
I guess,
and have a little bit more of that, and have him back in the suit. I could be totally wrong. I have no idea.
I think you're always wrong, but that's just me.
But yeah, it is funny though that it just shows you as Fisk is still a petty little bitch, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
and I love it.
Yeah,
the fact that he saw that and was just like, "Fuck Matt, I'm gonna get this guy." Like literally had the man killed because he was just like, "Fuck Matt." And the funny thing is you're going to see, like what you were talking about, Matt is not likable by the end of this episode. He's probably going to even be not even more likable after this next episode, because he's going to go into the classic Catholic guilt, Matt, where he can't, because, and in all honesty, it kind of is his fault, because he made this guy a target by outing him in a courtroom in a very public case about a potential cop killer.
Yeah. Also, let's give Matt a little leeway. You wear a giant bright white suit at night,
but it's the White Tiger.
Yeah. Also, after what happened in the courtroom, he made it very clear to you can't do this ever again. Now, that's not to say
that's true.
That's not to say that they wouldn't have tracked him down in his normal attire and killed him. However, putting this and who's not to say that he put it on because he knew he was going to get killed anyway, and he said, "I'm going out as the White Tiger," which makes it really hard for me to believe that he was taken down by a guy walking by. Just a guy walking by with a gun, right?
Yeah, it was kind of strange.
You got all these powers and shit, but yet a guy, like, you didn't notice the guy coming.
Yeah, but he isn't bulletproof.
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Also, if you're wearing a mask, your peripherals are probably pretty fucked. So maybe that's an issue. But it's too late. You're dead.
Well,
let's be real.
R.I.P. White Tiger.
We hardly do ye. I love you, man. I fucking love. Can I just say this? one of the there are moments when
This.
Wow, that was really shitty. There are moments when shit.
It was like you're going up a mountain.
There are moments when they just get it right as far as like sound design and
Oh God, that gunshot is so loud.
and whatever and music and effects and all this. You have the big gunshot.
Ooh.
You hit to the things, and guess what you hear in the background? The koki,
Yeah.
the little frogs.
Yeah.
Nothing
They
but the
singing-
night
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico, and it's like,
That was a huge gut punch.
right?
Huge.
But
gut
but the
punch.
music, but I
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
that. It's
Yeah,
almost,
and the fact that the whole
it's
I watched
almost
the whole
silent.
credits.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I didn't know if
You
there was gonna be
couldn't
like
turn
a
it off.
tease for next episode. Or
I
something.
just couldn't turn it off. It was just so compelling to just listen
Damn.
to these fucking
Yeah.
trees and these frogs.
It's actually really nice. I don't know what everybody's complaining about. If that's what it really sounds like, it sounds nice. The
Yeah,
frogs
what, right?
singing like that.
I mean, to
Be
be honest,
outside more, nerds.
to be honest, I've lived in places where there's shitloads of crickets and you know whatever, all sorts of loud insects and whatnot. Man, that would be cool if they were frogs. I don't care.
I just like being outside.
I want to live in a small shack on an island for the rest of my life.
I don't want to be a cult leader, but I want to.
I'm not saying I want to. Hey, where's the?
Excuse
Hey,
me.
where's the?
Am I the Messiah? I don't know. I could be. I'm not ruling it out.
But I'm gonna start a cult.
No, I would have like a not like a compound, but like I wish I could get like. The dream would be to have a piece of land where all my friends and family could live, like separate houses and everything. We're not like in a fucking well, maybe we could. You know what? We're commune. We're a communist family, and then just do it.
Okay, so
Bleh.
we have to
All
we
I'm
have to
saying.
pause because Jake was hit with a neuro ray by the CIA. We forgot that if you mention a certain economic
Sloppy.
It
philosophy
was really sloppy on our part.
slash political government style of government.
You know what? I've read a lot of books.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
Did you read that book?
No, but I read a book
The
called.
book he wrote about.
I read a book called Daredevil, Born Again. It's actually a TV show we watch on Disney Plus. This is what we're talking about.
I'm not talking about it. Didn't we go
Well,
through? I mean,
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, looking ahead, what do you think is going to happen in episode 4?
I don't know. I just know that I mean the show's been good so far. I hope they're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
I wish they
'cause-
would bring Karen back, because Foggy and Karen were big emotional heart to this show. And
yeah, it's different without them, isn't
it's
it?
different when it's just Matt on a collision
If
course
you
with
had
Fisk.
the psychiatrist lady like taking the part of that,
Well, yeah,
but she's not. She's trying to. What they're using her character for is a bridge, is an unintentional and unknown bridge between.
Fisk and Matt.
Wow. Do you see this?
Yeah, between Fisk.
Wow.
Stop. Focus.
Between Fisk and Murdoch. Jesus.
Jesus.
That's some dust bunny.
I was gonna say,
Um,
Jesus Christ himself walk in here.
Fucking wow.
Hey, you're not supposed to be here for a month.
Yeah, man.
Easter's next month.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, that's how they're kind of using her is
Yeah.
that kind of unintentional bridge,
Yeah,
unknown.
there's gonna be some sort
We
of.
get, yeah, we
you know-
we could see it from a mile away.
I read
Mile away.
Daredevil comics.
Yeah, me too.
She's gonna die.
Yeah, probably.
Kingpin's gonna fucking kill her.
Probably.
Matt might
or Kingpin's
Vanessa-
wife. Kingpin's wife.
Vanessa's gonna die in collateral damage, and then he's
Yeah.
gonna kill the psychiatrist. Like I know.
Yeah, that they're gonna fight each other in a steel cage.
Wow.
That's like
So yeah, I
wrestling
mean, like,
announcer.
I mean, I don't want to say we're going through the motions, but
yeah, man. It's not bad. I'm enjoying the show, but that's what I mean. Like, Fisk has to die or something has to happen where, like we were saying at the beginning of this review, at some point, narratively, you have to understand this cannot work like a comic book because it's not.
no.
It's an adaptation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great to have reoccurring villains, and it's important to have reoccurring villains when you can. But at some point, you're gonna have to kill Kingpin.
Well, look,
Because there's no way he can keep doing this.
whether you
right?
whether you like it or not.
Am I crazy?
Whether you like it or not, they could have had something in fucking New World or Brave New World. They could have had something referring to Kingpin being the whatever of New York, right? They could have. They could have some reference. I don't even think there's any reference to the Red Hulk. We don't know where it is on the timeline. Da 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 da. We talked about this last week, and I don't want to fucking piss on this show because
I do enjoy it.
I do too, and I'm gonna watch it, and it's not gonna make me sad. I'm not gonna poop, but you gotta ask, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? Are we Daredevil in the MCU finally? Okay, prove it. I hate to be like that, but prove it. Show me fucking Spider-Man or somebody, or show me Hawkeye. You're like, well, Fisk was in Hawkeye and he was in Echo. I don't give a shit.
It's also important to know, I don't know, I'm imagining this is going to be post-Born Again. Yeah, I think so, timeline-wise. But also keep in mind, John Bernthal is getting a Punisher, like, one-shot, essentially, like a special presentation.
Okay.
So, I'm wondering, so that's what I mean, like, I feel like Punisher's going to be more involved. I want to me, the stuff that I really liked about that Netflix show, I know Bullseye's going to play a role at some point, maybe not even until the next season, but I really liked Frank Castle. I've always loved the rivalry between Punisher and Daredevil and the opposition between Frank and Matt.
Yeah.
And especially with John Bernthal killing it like he did in season 2 and in his own show and, with Charlie Cox. So I can also see what you mean where like he doesn't show up until like the very end of the season, but I think he might be a bigger part of this. I don't know, but
I'm enjoying the ride. I don't really want to look that far under the surface because I know if I do,
you're going to overthink it.
Well, I know if I do, it's going to make me disappointed.
WandaVision is what it's going to be. It's going to be WandaVision. We're going to overhype things.
We got to remember
things.
that not every single book that's put out by, like, say, DC or Marvel every month is a fucking bona fide winner.
Yeah.
And fuck sales. I'm talking about a good comic book.
A good story.
Yes. We know that. So we should stop thinking that every single... Excuse me. God damn it. We should stop thinking that every single project coming out of the MCU is going to be a hit or is going to be a blockbuster or whatever. Now, if they're spending the money, then yeah, they got to recoup their shit. That's how capitalism fucking works. Which is dumb, by the way. About this 1,000th time we've said that on the show.
Yeah, come on, man. Just
Finish it! Finish it!
But yeah, I mean, what do we? I don't know. Just enjoy the ride. We'll enjoy the ride. But when we start kind of picking it apart, it's like, wow, there's not much here. And that's okay. It is. It's because it's still an enjoyable show. But again, look, I guess my question is if you were if you watched season 1, like the first 7 episodes, then you're in a coma. Like somehow you get in a car accident, you're in a coma, and you don't wake up until like yesterday. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing you do is, I gotta watch Daredevil. And you find it and you play it and you don't realize it's Born Again. Right?
Yeah, what a crazy scenario, but keep going.
I'm just saying if you watched episode 3 of Born Again and the last Daredevil show you'd watched was like season 1 of the Netflix show, would you even fucking know that it's new? Be honest. Would you know? The guys don't look much different. I mean, D'Onofrio, I'm just saying, like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
I want to say something real quick. There was a really nice moment at the end of the episode with Matt and his girlfriend where he brings up Foggy and she says, "This is the first time you've brought him up. I was wondering when you would." And it's actually a nice, like, sweet, subtle moment.
Whatever.
No, I wanted to say so. I want to end with something really nice that I liked about the episode. But it was, just Charlie Cox really having a whole control of this character, and it's just a really nice, silent, subtle moment of Matt having a little bit of that grief lifted off of him. Just a little bit.
And you know,
And it was kinda nice to
be
see
really
that.
honest too, it was nice to see him win the case.
It was nice to see him get a win. And then immediately lose. Because that's fucking Daredevil. That's Spider-Man. That's all these, you know what I mean? They have to lose because that's the next thing in the story. Anyway, speaking of stories, let's get to comics. First one up, everybody.
Which you've already read, so we can get right
Yes,
into it.
right
We don't
into
have
it.
to take a break that you'll never
Oh,
know
fuck
about.
you, dude. You know what? How's that?
This is
Fuck
the plan.
you!
Get your ass to Moss.
Get to the point. Go Hagen. So this is Absolute Wonder Woman number 5, written by Kelly Thompson. Who's on the art?
Sherman. Hayden Sherman.
Hayden Sherman.
Yeah.
So at this point in the story, she is still fighting this giant monster at the this is it Coastal City?
Mhm.
What's the name of the monster?
The Tetracide.
Tetracide, right. So she blasted through it with her giant sword, but that still wasn't enough to kill it. So then she realized, they try and nuke it and throw missiles at it, and she stops it.
Right, yeah, and she goes, she's like, oh shit. So then she just goes and flies up above the guys, and the guy in the plane, she's like, hi. And he's like, hi? So I need you to not do that again, all right? And he's like, yes, ma'am. Whoa.
The other guy's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So she does that, and then boom, title card.
Because we need to buy time. All I do is buy time, it seems. And when you are out of time, you consider desperate ideas.
So that's when she takes out what I think.
So neat.
Yes, we see an ad for Absolute Martian Manhunter, that new series. So she takes out what I think is going to be like is this going to be like their version of the lasso of truth? Is that what they're implying with this story? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like. I don't know. I feel like
Because a lot of the
is
focus on this issue is how she defeats it by using this green glowing lasso that was given to her from her mother. And she struggles to kind of figure out like how to use it. She almost loses to like a very low level. You know, like if you're playing like a video game, it would be a low-level character that you shouldn't lose to, you know, because you got all the better
Well, they show
gear.
her trying to use the process
It's like a
in
choking,
between,
strangling something. Or,
right?
Yeah, different ways.
Harpy.
Different
And
ways to
she's
use
telling
it.
Cersei about Cersei.
Yeah, according to James Gunn.
Whatever, James, you
Fuck.
douchebag. But she's talking to Cersei, and Cersei's just like, look, I understand you found it a bit cruel, and I get, but you got to fucking wise up here a little bit. And she walks away. She's kind of pissed.
You're gonna be fighting monsters,
Right. She's kind of pissed, and Diana is a little bit guilty, and then Hecate shows up.
which I thought was pretty cool.
And
And then an ad for
they have-
Absolute Green Lantern.
Yeah, and they have no core, no ring, absolute guardian. Okay, well, you better. Okay, well, she does have a ring,
Liars.
so no ring. Fucking
So yeah,
liar.
they
No.
they show up and tell her like, hey, maybe listen to what she's saying of like, hey, the perspective of your mother is a really good sorcerer.
Mhm.
So, you know, maybe listen to her. And
So she goes and comes back to Cersei, and she's like, I apologize, but you know, and she just says like, I love, you know, you're right, and I need to learn from you, and I need help to master this trick, this thing, this lasso, and you know, there's a moment between them, and they come back to the city.
And this, yeah. So this is where when I was reading the book, I finished reading it and I texted you. Well, I didn't finish it yet. I was I just read this part of it. And I texted you. I was like, I've not finished it yet, but this book fucking rules is what I texted you. Because she figured we cut to the present day, and she figures out that she's going to take the lasso and start wrapping it around her arm.
Mm-hmm.
And as she does that, she turns into a kaiju-sized fucking Gorgon. She calls herself, but they're called the race is Gorgons.
Yeah.
But yeah, she says, I am Medusa, and is, full-on kaiju-sized, giant snake in the hair and everything. And you and I were talking about it, and I just ate that up. because I'm like, holy shit. Because first we're like, giant sword, that's not enough. No, we're going to go full Greek mythology, bring out Medusa. And then what I love about it, it's also like I was bringing this up to you. I look at it, and maybe it's not. Maybe this is just my interpretation of it. But I look at it as like a cool little homage to Clash of the Titans with the Kraken. Because she literally just turns it into stone and just knocks it over and kills it.
Yeah,
And it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And what did you think? When you were reading it, were you like, holy shit? Like because it blew my mind. I'm like, okay, we're going there. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out, and then of course, like, it turns, it's just a great book all around. When all is said and done, this is the best of the absolute books. I've read all of them so far. Well, we haven't read number 6 of Absolute Batman, which
this, by the way, said 5 of 5. This book said this.
So
Absolute
this says finale.
At
the end.
Superman.
Yeah. So good job, guys.
You did your job.
Look, I'm sorry, man, but there's many reasons why this one is the best. It was consistently good from the beginning.
Consistent when it seems, consistent all around.
And they did it in 5 like they said they would. But it rolls over, and obviously the story continues, but the arc is over. Right?
Yeah, because they're saying, she's pointing to the next arc by the end of this issue.
And I don't mean to be like a stickler like that. You said 1 of 5, and now it's like 1 of 6. What the fuck? But
it's just of the books, Absolute Batman seems like the one that was delayed. Because
and to me,
these have wrapped up their stories in 5 issues, and that one hasn't wrapped up its yet.
No, and even though it started out slow and I didn't really get into it right away, Absolute Superman, dude, the end of this is fucking rocks.
We'll get to Absolute Superman, but another thing. So I really love the whole kaiju thing, and then like the whole like chaos afterwards of her like still being Medusa'd. Like she had to like get talked down, but that's what I love about it.
Well,
because
Steve talks her
But that's
down.
what I'm saying. That's what I mean. We're like, this is what I love about this book. And what it nails what's so great about Wonder Woman and why we love her is she inspired Steve to get out there and save her.
He puts a blindfold on.
And they were telling him, like, do you want to do this? And she's like, hey,
yeah.
she cut her fucking arm off to save me.
There's nothing I won't do.
You can't stop me from saving her. And that's like, hell yeah. That is what she does. She inspires people. That's the hope. And like to see that and to see him talk her down.
That panel
Diana,
where she's still gigantic and looking down at him.
And then like freaks out. So he's like, Diana, I know you can hear me, and I know you understand that this is not who you are. You are a great, and he's blind too because he's feeling around for her because he can't look at her.
He's got a blindfold to make
turn
sure.
to stone. A great hero and warrior from who saved me from the underworld. You cut off your arm, an incredible sacrifice to free me, to send me home. You must remember, you are Diana, Witch of the Wild Isle, Diana of Circe, Diana, the last of the Amazons. And then she turns back into herself. I'm like, oh. And I kind of think...
And they have a little moment.
I think they're going to... Honestly, I think this book is leaning towards they're going to be more of like a platonic thing. They could be romantic, but I think this is going to be like what if they were just friends and we had different romantic interests? I don't know. Maybe I could be reading into that, but who knows? So then she decides to, destroy the monster after it's been turned to stone. She jumps up and uses her braces and blows it up. Also, shout out to the horse for dodging the missiles. That was cool. So it ends at the very end. They're all... The monster's dead. They're all celebrating. And then out of nowhere, a hand pops up from the underworld and pulls Diana down back into hell. And then that sets up the next arc. So overall, we've already said it, I think. Your opinion right now. I mean, I guess I have to read Superman and give my thoughts on it. But I will say right now, I kind of am in the same boat. I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was just a really fun ride. I can't stress enough how interesting and unique of a book this looks like. Not only does it like just the paneling is insane. The idea to constantly have looks like pieces of armor instead of your traditional comic book panels, and
she's explaining about and
there's this
it is
portrayal,
so good.
this
Like,
portrayal that's like interesting and fresh,
the
but still,
epicenter of the whole panel, like
just crushing it
radiates out,
down. Now.
but
Yeah,
it radiates out from where her punch is and stuff like that's.
the art's great. The story's fun.
But when she gets,
love it.
I do want to read this one part because it's really relevant to our world today. When my feelings about the injustice of Medusa's plight burn bright, I try to remember that all of us, even the gods, are vulnerable to our hearts becoming twisted with hate. Fear and hate drive us only to the worst versions of ourselves. We need to be better than that, all of us.
Dang, Diana.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what
You
more.
see why people
I don't
go
know.
into battle with her, man.
I can afford 2 or 3 books a week, so I don't really see a reason not to continue reading this book. But again, I'm not. I mean, this is the first DC book that I've read in a long time that I've wanted to read more of. All right, you got to read that.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take.
No. We're going to read it right now, live on the air. Tyler,
Yeah.
in your hand, you hold a book. Absolute Superman number 5, written by Jason Aaron, drawn by. It's in the back.
Rafa Sandoval, Ulysses Areola is colorist, and Becca Carey is letterer.
He's a Superman, yeah. We're talking about that. So this is kind of getting the reader up to speed on what happened to Krypton and how Cal ended up here on Earth. Where I had some I saw some theories about like, okay, so in this one he's gonna bring all of Krypton's people to Smallville, and like they're just gonna take the place of the Smallville people or something like that. And instead, it's not gonna be that.
No.
And
So we open up, and we're actually seeing like
arguably the most tragic death of Krypton stories, I would say.
well, I mean, it's all tragic, but when you think about
Like we haven't seen. This is told through the eyes of a Cal that experienced it, because every time that's happened before, Cal was a baby that was shot off into space. Like this is him where he's lived on the planet for a few years.
yeah,
And that's what makes this book so interesting and new, and that's what is exciting about what DC is trying to do with this absolute stuff. What we love about Wonder Woman and what we really ended up loving about this book is taking that familiar and changing it just enough to be like, okay, let's tell a story of Cal living on Krypton for a while, and then also tell the story of that destruction through his eyes, which is something we've never seen before.
and they're just trying to find as many as they can, and they're trying to get as many people, and it says it'll have to be enough, and he's watching his parents, and he just says, rage swelled within me as I watched my parents weep. And I remember swearing to myself that whatever world we found our way to next, we would make better than this one, no matter what it took. And what we're watching here is look, let's be honest, if Earth started exploding, this is exactly the same shit that would happen. People would just be at each other's throats. The riots swept the Redlands along with rumors of massacres in the cities. We could see the towers of Kandor burning in the distance. I don't know which was worse, how we Kryptonians had abused our homeworld, or what we did to one another in those our final shameful hours.
Because it was the rich elites had known about what was happening.
Oh yeah,
And we're planning to leave the planet.
and there is a very fucking gut punchy thing about that later on in the issue. But then we go to Pakistan where he's coming after Smith.
Yeah.
23 dead people in Orangi Town gunned down for the unfathomable crime of laughing at a man with a gun.
Yeah.
So he tries to break him up, and
You've seen the rage of the Superman that they were talking about in the
Saul
last issue.
Saul is trying to find Smith, but Brainiac is clearly in this world, and he's running Lazarus. And so, he's trying to find him, and the Lazarus Corp cyber defenses are of a sophistication beyond this planet's natural capabilities. But he's beating up on one of the guys,
He's
and
interrogating him like Batman.
and he's like, don't kill me, and it makes him stop.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh shit. But that's when he says, "Hey, Cal, I'm close to unraveling the encryption while also fending off a series of counterattacks. Someone called Brainiac is attempting to infiltrate my systems." And he realizes, he's like, "I got to get out of here." And he takes off. They go back to the past,
Yeah.
and they're showing the people how to be part of.
Where like what Saul does,
Yeah,
essentially, and like
And
when
they
they
get
wear
going.
these suits, it turns into space, like little spacecrafts, so they, almost like life rafts that they could shoot out into space to get off the planet
Yeah.
before it blows up.
Keep him back, kill him if you have to. The ships can't take off if they. And this is Kandor. The clerics conspired for months to build enough ships to evacuate the Kryptonian elite. And more people would have been saved, maybe not at all. But as it was, not a single ship managed to take off that day, not from the cities at least. And they show the ship of the Kal-Elians, super people.
Yeah.
What do they call them? And they're flying along, and what happens is a gigantic fucking Kryptonian asteroid just chumps through
Because the planet is blowing up
Yeah.
from the inside.
So it breaks it in half, but this incredible machine makes little ships for everybody.
Yeah.
And he's going along, and he sees his mom and dad and everything, and they're trying to escape. And you see all these other planes just getting crushed.
Well, yeah, because the planet is exploding from the inside out, so these craters are hitting these ships and blowing them up, and people,
It's just like the Millennium Falcon coming out of the Death Star too. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, not everybody's gonna make it. And what happened is, the only ship that made it out is Cal's. And then we go back to Earth.
And he's like, yeah, he pretty much just said, well, why didn't we go
I'm
for
afraid,
Smith? And he's
yeah.
like, I don't want to go to Smith because he's pretty much saying, I'm afraid I'd kill him.
Mm.
And then he says, I just want to go home.
Mm.
And it shows Smallville.
Oh!
And the street sign, and that's how we end this first arc for the last dust of Krypton.
Oh, and I gotta
Says
say,
finale on the title card.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of like them showing those kind of moments, because look, let's be honest, if our planet started doing that, that's exactly what the same thing would happen. The rich elite would find a way to get going,
Yeah.
and in the end, nobody would be saved.
Yeah.
And people would be really shitty to each other. So I'm glad they showed that. I'm glad they showed him understanding a couple of times in the issue that how much power he has.
Yeah, how easily he could just kill someone.
And I'm glad that I'm overall, I'm pleased with the Absolute Superman.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'm interested to see what would happen if the big three get
They'd ever
together,
intersect. I don't know.
because it'd be interesting. I think because you got a Superman who's basically just starting out,
Mm-hmm.
instead of taking years and years to hone his powers like the original did.
Yeah.
Up in the
Well, and
Fortress of
it's the same
Solitude.
problem you run into all the time when you have a continuity and like a shared universe and stuff, where it's like, well, realistically, the size and scale of the shit they're fighting by themselves, why wouldn't they call somebody?
right.
You know, like any movie after the first Avengers movie, you always have that thought of like, okay, I'm sorry, but like Iron Man 3, it was like, oh, the president was kidnapped or some shit. The president of the United States and only Iron Man is doing it? You don't think all the other Avengers aren't getting called in for this? Or at least, a couple more?
And here's to
So
close
that's why
all
I'm okay with if they want to keep them separate.
to close
I'm okay
yeah
with
me
that.
too, but to close all this out, let me just say this about comic books, the difference between comic books and the movies. And you're talking about you're talking about the Avengers and like, right, comic books, you don't have to pay a character to be in a comic book.
Well, it also comes with the territory. It's different.
You got to pay Sebastian Stan if you want to
Right.
have Winter Soldier in your movie.
Yeah.
You got to pay this guy. You got to pay this. You got to pay. You have to pay. You have to pay. You
No,
have to pay.
I know.
I'm just saying you have to schedule shit,
Yes.
right? So they will play it off in story however they want, but we know that the reason why this character or no other character showed up in Iron Man 3 was because they couldn't
They don't
pay
have enough
anybody,
money for that. Yeah.
or they didn't think whatever. the point of all this is to say
It's
that
also the same with
comic books are always going to be all over the movies. You got to understand that when you're dealing with the MCU, you're not dealing with comic books. You're dealing with an adaptation of a comic book universe
inspired by a comic
the
book
best way
universe.
that they know how.
Yeah.
Yes. And I hate it that Rocket Raccoon in the Marvel Comics is very much like the movie version because that's not the
what
way he was.
That's what he is in everything now.
It's not the way he was.
Games, everything.
But now he is.
Comics, everything.
The fucking MCU
Anyway,
and
good enough.
Marvel Television killed the Inhumans.
So,
Thank you.
Tyler.
Fuck.
We haven't technically finished Absolute Batman yet.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you would say Absolute of the three, Absolute Wonder Woman would be the one that you would be most interested in reading more of.
I have to say that would be the one. Although I got, truthfully, I think I would follow this one because I want to know what's going on with Smallville.
It's a good like cliffhanger into the next arc.
I would read Wonder Woman because it's a book that I like. I really want to find out what happens. Like what is going on with Smallville in this book. So that's why I probably will. I don't want to buy both. But I like Wonder Woman, and I want to find out.
Do what I do and just buy trades.
Yeah, Hellverine #4 came out, by the way, but I didn't fucking buy it because I'm sick of you fucking using me to buy your comic books.
Hey, man. Just use it as a tax write-off for the show. You'd have to make money doing this show. Yeah, overall, I enjoyed it too. I think I've been pretty satisfied with all three.
Yeah,
overall.
We poo-pooed the shit out of it when it first was announced. We did.
Yeah.
We went hard
I'm eating crow,
at it.
yeah.
We went hard at it, dude. We were like, fucking fuck this shit, and it's another fucking reboot. I stand by all of that.
I sure, yeah.
But
I'm not recanting my statement.
Having said all that, I am not sorry that I read the first arcs of each three.
Yeah, I was glad to be wrong. I was glad to be wrong, and I will tell you this: that's what you and I always talk about with this show. It's like I don't want something to be bad. I always want things to be good because I want, as someone who creates things myself, I want other creators to have success.
Yeah,
unless they're a horrible person or something. But yeah, for the most part, I don't want to hate
Neil
something.
Gaiman,
or like they're a Nazi or some shit. I don't want
Steve Ditko. No. But
you know what I mean.
Here's
I
the
was
thing.
Say Kanye.
I love
Nazi too.
Yeah, but fucking Kanye, I never really cared for his art, so fuck him all over, man. Just fuck off. Just get the fuck off my planet.
Get out of here.
I'm so tired.
You know what, Elon?
My name is actually Yee. Fuck
you
off.
should go with Elon to Mars, and we'll be fine.
Fucking great, dude.
Just fly to Mars, guys.
You know what? You both are so great. I'm willing to bet that you can get off the spaceship without helmets or air supply and survive.
Tyler, listen. Elon, Kanye.
Now this is the plan. Get your ass to Mars.
Is it time?
For what? No, I don't know how long we've been.
Yeah, I'm fine. No, I'm just saying to kind of put a wrap up on it. I am glad that we were.
Yeah, I just want to put one other.
And yeah, I want these, especially me, because I love DC. I love these characters, and so I was glad to be wrong. It's exciting to. That's another thing too. At the most part, from all of this, I'm excited about what they're trying to do with the Absolute stuff. Because, I mean, how many times have we said on this show how much we hate continuity, and how when you have characters that exist for 80 years and all this stuff, you just have to accept that you can't have a consistent continuity for that long. It's just not possible. You're always going to have retcons. You're always going to have all this shit.
Absolutely.
So just tell your stories.
Yes,
why do you have to have continuity? What the
If you want to reference other stories that came before, cool. If you don't, that's okay too. And if you want to change something that happened in another story,
what were you going to say?
My
about
last total thing is that I probably am not. Once I buy Absolute Batman #6 because I want to finish out the arc, I'm probably not going to buy any more of them. I'm probably going to move on to the next two.
At least not monthly. Yeah.
This is what I like about the new way that comic books have been done with like the Defenders series and those books. I like open. I like closed arcs. I like, hey,
miniseries. Yeah.
You like the trades, and what are trades usually is a collection of a particular arc.
Yeah. They're usually
5
just
to
5
10
issues. Yeah.
Something like that, right? So I don't know that I'll buy any of them after number 6 because I just want to finish out that arc. I do want to find out what happens about Smallville, and I do like Wonder Woman to the point that I would consider buying it, and it is on my pull list. All 3 of them are actually. So
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not like I have to be like, I have to do some things to
Wait,
not
did you
get
say
it.
wait, pull list?
What?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Where are we at?
Like he's pulling the. Anyway,
Where are we at?
my basement. Don't worry about it. We're fine. What?
I mean, don't worry about it.
Long.
I was gonna say maybe I don't want to do a long box.
Fuck you.
We're fucking doing one anyway, dick.
Fuck you think you are?
It's a long
Felix?
box.
Oh, you think you're the long box sheriff or some shit? Oh, I thought we were recording. That's funny. I thought because that was a funny bit. We should do that on the air.
Well, not now. The moment's
Long
long.
box.
Whip
so,
it out.
Wow.
What you been into lately?
So there was a movie that was a big Oscar darling during the awards season called September 5th. And
No, dude, it's March 13th. Anyway, September 5th. What's it about?
Peter Sarsgaard is in it. Peter Sarsgaard is in it, and what it is the story of the 1972 Munich Olympics, where the Israeli athletes were kidnapped and killed, ultimately killed, and it's the story of I believe the ABC TV team in Munich, and they're about 100 yards from the Olympic Village where all the athletes are staying. Everything's going along normally. One night during a shift change, early morning, they hear shots. So they start realizing, they're like, wait a second. Now, this is before handheld cameras, folks. So they're like, how do we get shots? We don't have. So they wheel a studio camera out to the roof because they're 100 yards and they have a straight shot of the fucking Olympic Village. I don't know. I think this story is a great. It's a great look into how media has changed from then until now. If you've only ever known the last 10, 15 years of media, this movie will blow your fucking mind. The fact that they were worried about saying that the hostages had been saved because they didn't have 2 sources yet. And they went ahead and they said, you know what? People need to hear something good. So they announced it. The hostages have been saved before it was confirmed by 2 sources. Now, the German state television station had said that. So they weren't the only ones, but they were everybody in the world was watching ABC. And when they did it, and then obviously it comes out that every one of them died and they had to retract, you know what I mean? Now, fucking nobody gives a shit. Dude, now media is about making people click on your article. So you got to have the most fucking crazy-ass fucking headlines to get people, what? What? It's about reaction now.
Or we're in such a bizarro world
Yeah.
that you have to have the most insane headline that's telling the truth. That is like, this is what's happening.
The bottom line is that journalism used to be way different. Now anybody with a fucking phone is a journalist. And unfortunately, no, you're not.
If you have a YouTube channel, you're a air quotes journalist.
Unfortunately, no, you're not.
You're not.
No, you're not.
Go to fucking school to be a
Yes,
journalist.
please. I work in radio with 2 guys who cover a couple. Each one covers a major university in the state, and they are damn good at what they do because they went to school for journalism. You know what I mean? And that's why they know how to do what they do and how they do it as well as they do. The point is, one of the biggest things is how they show how I can take videos and camera and all sorts of stuff and send it to anywhere in the world with my phone. Okay? In this thing, they have to have a guy dressed as an athlete run through the blockade at the entrance to the Olympic Village, bringing reels of film to the guys who have the camera inside the Olympic Village, and then bringing all that stuff back, and then they have to develop that film.
Yeah.
To put it on TV, and then they show how they used to put bugs on, which is what they did. They had a camera, and this one lady would put stuff on a like a little letters like on the like they have at fast food places, and they change, like 89-cent burgers. It's the thing underneath.
Yeah.
You got different letters, right? And you see people on the ladders, but it's a little one, and they would film that, and then they would put it they would put that frame onto the actual frame of television. Like now, I can make a bug on my YouTube channel, no problem with my phone. But back then, they used to have like multiple cameras. They didn't have a way to get Peter Jennings on the phone onto the air. The guys had to jury rig a thing with the phone to get them to have his phone call. You get what I'm saying? That to me is to me what's the biggest story and message about this movie is look at how far we've come and look at how difficult it used to be. The acting is great. The guy who does Peter Jennings is fucking fantastic. It's a tragic story ultimately, but it's told. If you're in media like I am, I think you'll be a lot more invested in it. It did go through the awards season looking like it was going to pick up some awards. I don't know that it ultimately did, but it was one of those Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Bait.
I definitely, it's worth a watch, but like I said, I think I enjoyed it so much because I've worked in a TV control room.
Yeah.
I work in media now. I do know that even now, 5 years ago, things have changed so much from 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see, like, holy shit, in 1972 they didn't have a way to put the phone on the air. Like they had to like take a walkie-talkie and put it next to the phone, and it's crazy. So I think to me that's the biggest draw of the movie is just, wow, that's crazy how much things have changed. But again, it's a good suspenseful movie in general. I give it a B+.
Cool.
Again, I think the story is secondary to, oh wow, look at it. Right, tell about your shitty.
Wow.
I know.
So I was gonna bring it down. I almost finished it. I'm on like 3 issues left. But I was reading a book called Berserker.
Oh yeah, the Keanu.
Is Keanu Reeves? It created it. He's one of the. He has someone. I think it's kind of like the like Moon Man, the Kid Cudi book, where like he works on it, but he also has a co-writer.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Berserker, which is spelled BRZKR, is about a character named B, or they also
John Matrix.
they also refer
John Wick.
a newt. Well, it's funny because the character does look like him, kind of.
He's so tied to the Matrix that I said John Matrix instead of John Wick.
That's Commando.
Which is a character to Commando. Listen, I was born in Tennessee.
Was born in Commando.
Hello. Don't I sound American like
John
I've lived
Matrix.
in America all of my life?
Anyway, the character does kind of look like him. So, and I'll be honest, when I read it, I hear his voice. But
whoa.
So the story is about a newt, a character named Newt, or also referred to just as B. But he's on the U.S. He's a part of this team in the U.S. military, and he is like this god that they don't really understand his origin and what's going on. But he's like, he's when he goes berserker, like when he loses it, and his eyes turn like blue, and he just goes insane. I will tell you, it is one of the most visceral, violent, insane books I've read, and it is. But it does it in a way where the violence, because it's tricky when you want to do something hyper violent, because I think there has to be a little bit of, excuse me, there needs to be a little bit of levity to it. And I think I saw something where Ed Boon was talking about that with like Mortal Kombat's violence and their fatalities, like in how there's always a little bit of a like tongue-in-cheekness to it. There's also some kind of joke to it, because otherwise it's just fucking violent. Right? And I think this book...
Violence in general is not...
This book takes itself serious, but I think the violence is so insane that it's just entertaining.
Over the top.
Yeah. And I think that's the intention, like where there's literally parts in the first issue or the second issue where like the first issue where like he like rips a dude's arm off and like hits another guy with it, like rips it off and hits another guy. Like it's extremely violent but I really dig this book cuz the whole it's only 12 issues a miniseries. And that's you talked about closed arcs. Like we need to get back to it. I want to
well, we got to do the Sins of Sinister arc.
we gotta do We Only Find Them When They're Dead because that's a closed.
Yes,
arc.
we want to. Yeah.
And I think at some point I might get this series. I got it from the library. At some point I might actually get this series and give it to you because I really enjoy it. But it's all about him trying to figure out his origin because it's essentially like he just becomes it's kind of like a Jesus idea where his this is gonna sound so like 80,000 years ago, its woman is a part of this. There's this tribe and they're like this war tribe, and they're praying for like every harvest they get pillaged by other warring tribes, and they get their women and children killed, and they lose their crops and all this shit. And so like she prays to their god to help them, give them a gift for the harvest. To like maybe the husband said he wanted a weapon, but she was trying to make it a gift. And essentially, it's an immaculate conception. She has birth to this character. He grows into age, and he becomes this berserker character eventually through the time. And I'm not gonna spoil all of it in case you do want to read it.
Too late.
But the whole premise of it is the agency that has him is studying him because they're trying to do shady government shit, and the whole point of it is trying to figure out his origin and how he came into being, and what like. They can't seem to make sense why this immortal guy just throughout time is just every time he's just showed up somewhere and just ripped through the battlefield and just killed all these people for whatever side and then just left and drifted. And it's an interesting story. I really dig it. I haven't quite finished it. There's 12 issues. I'm on 10. But really not what I would have expected from a Keanu Reeves comic book, like in just terms of the level of like insane gore and violence, but it's awesome. And you know what? Very similar to Keanu, like John Wick and other characters that Keanu does, I'll give him credit. I feel like when he does action movies, a lot of times his characters do eat shit sometimes and like actually are believable, like in a fight. Like, you aren't going to always win a fight. You know what I mean? And
we've talked about this before.
And I think this character at times in this comic book, it's kind of hilarious how he comes out of situations where like he's immortal, so he still lives, but his like whole face is like burnt to a crisp, and he's got hairs and like he's like it's like like well when Wolverine does shit, it's just I won, I guess, and he just like collapses and then resurrects at some point. It's a really cool book. I would recommend it. Go check it out. Berserker. It's out. It's 12 issues. There's also a mini-series called Berserker Bloodlines.
Yeah.
I was going to read that as well.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I didn't do this when you were talking about your thing. You dick.
You looked like you were about
Tyler,
to fall asleep the entire time.
You look like you're about to fall
You
asleep.
had one eye open.
Yeah, because
you were
I'm
trying
to
so
not
hard
fall
to
asleep
wait.
hearing
Yeah,
you, dude.
my stupid story about my stupid movie. You know what? I love you.
I love you too.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.